What's up, guys? Toby 50 Baits. Check it out, check it out. We're going to show you this new mold. I'm sure you read the title. We're going to make some of these, and if you want to know how and where to get this mold and all that, hit that like and subscribe, guys. But we're not going to shoot the tail mold. I already have. This is like a monkey milk, but just blue highlight without any flake or anything in it. The 3-inch Helter Smelter. Great name. A subscriber on here hit me up on my Facebook. He said, "Look, then, you want this mold made? Let me make it for you." I was like, "Alright." So we get to talking, which I like. I get to talk to somebody and not just whatever. We messaged a few times and like, "Hey, let's talk." So anyway, he makes this mold, sends it to me. I looked at his site. I'm going to give you all that information as well. I didn't think about it. It may be crooked, but as in November, Ngraves.com. This is the Helter Smelter 3-inch with a tail and a 6-cavity mold. So when I got it, first thing I thought was, I'm going to tear, let me get this plastic ready. Sorry, guys. I'm going to tear this thing apart. It ain't going to make it. It can't be. It's not aluminum. It's not going to be a great mold. I've shot it twice. It's a great dang mold. Sorry, my bad on that. It's exactly what I wanted. It's a 3-inch bait. I can use it on a crappie jig, drop shot, but also a hover rig. And not getting into this crap about the live scope and all that. It's part of fishing now, guys. It is what it is. Hover jigs are pretty bad, man. I mean, they're awesome. This on a hover jig is going to be awesome. When I got this one and saw last night when I shot it, I called him. I said, "I want another one." So got another one coming too. It's going to be a 4-inch. And I'm super excited about it. Because for me, there's two types of bites. It's a reaction bite and a, hey, it looks like I want to eat it bite. So for me, I want stuff that looks natural. So back to this mold. He made me this mold, man. It is a high temp resin. I don't know anything other than that. I'm just the old country boy that makes baits. He makes the molds. This is a high temp resin. I was thinking it was going to be a silicone type or a hard silicone that wasn't going to last. No, this is it. Now it is fragile. He said don't drop it. So I'm guessing that part's like a stone mold, I would guess. But you don't want to drop it on a hard surface or anything like that. But it's a 6-cavity 3-inch. But I want eyeballs in a bait. To me, that's what makes them look real. And again, there's reaction bites that you can get on some crazy looking baits that don't even look real, which most of you know. And then there's a natural looking bite. I like it. And man, that's going to get hammered. Like I said, a hover jig, a crappie jig, or whatever. Drop shot it. It's going to be awesome. So, I'm not going to get to fishing because I leave tomorrow for Louisiana. If you watch the channel, you know I love hunting ducks, period. Geese, speckled bellies. So I'll be gone for the next 8 days doing that. And I'm not mad about it. Don't get it twisted. That's what I love to do. So we're headed down there tomorrow, but I want to get this out because, man, he did a hell of a job. Heck of a job. I don't know if I'm supposed to say hell, but sorry about that. Old cop military do this. We say things probably wrong. But anyway, first thing I said is I'm going to tear this thing up. They sent me these screws. I said I'm not going to use them. I'm going to clamp it. I want to see how bad it flashes. Stone molds or stuff like that, they flash. Or they'll dent. I said I'm going to clamp it. I did. Shot the bait. Shot perfect. See where? Alright. You got lucky. So I heated it up a little higher and I shot it a little harder. The only thing he told me is that they do not like a lot of pressure. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna put a little pressure to this thing, see what it does. Didn't flash. I mean, I didn't go crazy and hammer it. I don't want to damage the mold. Don't get me wrong when I say tear it up. So anyway, it turned out a perfect freaking bait that I am more than happy with. More than happy with. And our plastics are about ready. And we're going to talk more about the mold and his company. I've asked him some things. He's from Texas. Makes these. I looked at his site. Number one is the price. This is on his site now. I can't remember the price now. I had it made 50 something or 60, something like that. 59, 60 bucks. That's the big difference between this and aluminum mold. And again, I did exactly opposite of what he said. He sent them screws. I was like, not digging for my little screw head or whatever I need to do it. Like, I'm clamping this dang thing. If it don't work, oh wait. It worked. I got 4 just spring clamps on it. And we're going to shoot a laminate. The thing I wanted was to be able to laminate for sure. And I don't know, I didn't know if these would laminate good or anything like that. And like I said, I was very hesitant. It's a great product. So I'm eating my own words from yesterday when it arrived. I was like, I don't know about this. And we'll open it up and show you more, of course. But really surprised me. But again, it's some kind of high temp resin. I do not know anything about it. Like I said, I make baits. I'm old country boy. But so I would guess maybe you're not going to sit here and shoot it like a production, just one after the other, which you can't really do anyway with aluminum because it gets too hot. What I have noticed, this doesn't get as hot. He said it doesn't get as hot as fast, but when it needs to cool down, it takes longer to cool down. It's fine with me because I'm shooting baits for me. I don't really care. Orders, I'm not getting no crazy orders, so I mean, I don't care. And it's made the bait that I want, man. Like I said, I want a realistic looking bait. And to me, a realistic looking bait has eyes. So that's the other cool part is, when we go to the bigger bait, we change the eye size, maybe to a 5mm when we go to a 4-inch or something like that. I want something realistic. I don't want a 3-inch bait with a 10mm eye that looks goofy to me. But I mean, maybe those type baits catch. I'm sorry if that's what you fish, but I like that. I like being able to talk to somebody and tell them what I want exactly and get it. So we're going to shoot this thing. It's down in my hole. You ain't going to see a whole lot, but I'll let you see. And we're shooting the same color that if you watch the channel we've been shooting. It's that Mars colorant with some green pumpkin in it. Over that shot it just like normal, still with the normal dual injector. Now he said they do not like a lot of pressure. So right there, I put a little pressure to it. Just like I was shooting an aluminum mold. I ain't try to shoot it any different, any less, any more. The temperatures were about 320, which is usually what I shoot anyway. A lot of times you don't want to shoot that hot when you're shooting a laminate, but I get it, I hate waiting to cool this stuff down sometimes. So it has been good. I'm liking it. The baits have turned out amazing. It doesn't have that dullish finish you'll get with like silicone type baits. It's got some little ribs on it. Love it. A little thin, just like a little thread fin or a little minnow. And like I said, we're going to make a 4, and I want it a little wider, and of course a bigger eye. And it's just, that's going to get hammered, man. Like I said, the hover jigs are great. One little trick, especially if you want to crappie fish this thing, or if you're fishing suspended fish. Say they're 5-6 foot down in 20 foot of water. Take one of those hover jigs, put it on there, put it on a cork, and you can control this thing. And with that hover jig, it just helps it sit more natural. And just pop that thing. It's gonna be good. Trust me. Trust me, trust me. There's gonna be a bunch of different ways to fish it. Again, your imagination, your creativity is gonna decide on what it does, can't do. But the other thing I've noticed, I don't know if I've said it or not. I don't rehearse this crap. I just go with it. The other thing is it takes longer for the plastic to set up. If I was to shoot this into a cold aluminum mold, it would already be. I mean, it sets up quick. But with this not getting hot, the mold, I can't tell any difference from when I picked it up to start with. So, it does take longer for it to set up. I have noticed that. The first baits I took out were a little sticky. I usually don't have a problem with that because I shoot Calhouns. To me, I don't shoot a lot of other plastics, so I don't want to get into that neither. But it, for me, is a little bit longer to set up. Again, no big deal, but it doesn't get as hot, it doesn't get as crazy. Here's our blending block. You've seen the color, so I'm gonna go over it real crazy. That's that Mars with good bit. I think I put like 15 drops of green pumpkin in it. When I do it with the cutthroat, I don't have to put but a little bit of green pumpkin, like just a couple drops. With that Mars, it's that brown color. I want it greener. But I'm loving the color that it gives. So we rock that color to start with. And I just bought some eyes. We went with a 4mm eye and Amazon or Glare. Just got some silver eyes, 4mm. I've got a ton of different, very realistic eyes, but I saved them for my painted baits that I'm painting. Painted baits, like they're unpainted. Well, I ain't thinking halfway. But that is what we wanted. I want it to be realistic looking, and it is. So, 4mm eye on this 3-inch bait. It just looks so good, man. It looks so natural. That one, that's going to be more for crappie. It's just that blue highlight. No flake in it. That one, I shot these with the tails, so I didn't want to waste the time of showing you the tails, but I'm not going to say waste the time, but the tail mold, what I do love about it, the tail mold's on this side. Shoot it, boom. While you're shooting another bait. Then that next time you got your tails already. Open it up, put the tails over in there. I love that. Ain't two different molds. I don't have to go looking for the tail mold when you got a big cluster of molds. So, I don't know how long it's been. We drew down a little bit. We didn't draw down near as bad as we do with aluminum molds. Notice that as well. Move some of this stuff, because if not, I'll knock stuff over. Y'all know how clumsy I am. But again, the Helter Smelter. Love the name he come up with. And he put my name on there, which is awesome. I appreciate that. And we're going to open up this mold. Like I said, when I got it, I was like, ain't no way this is going to shoot a decent bait. I was wrong. There's our top color. Which I don't even know why I'm showing y'all that. If you've watched any of the videos, you've seen it. Peels right out just like a regular mold. I don't think you have to, there's no lubrication. I don't have to lube it to make it come out easier or shiny. It just popped right out. And it laminated well. And another thing about molds that I wanted, I am very picky. Well, I ain't gonna say very picky, but most swim bait molds are like side to side, so you can't hang them up and let them cure straight. This I can. I've got a little system right there, just some wood with some finishing nails or trim nails, and I can hang these up. They'll be straight when I hang them, and they can cure straight. That's another reason I like baits laid out this way. Not just so I can laminate them, of course, but that way they cure straight. I don't have to, if you lay these things out crooked to cure, and they're not, they will cure with that, it'll almost be permanent. So you want them to cure straight. It laminates perfectly. And again, when I opened it up, I was like, this thing is not going to last. It is not going to hold up. I'm going to beat this thing to death. Well, I say beat it. I mean, you know, just, I'm going to do everything opposite of what I'm supposed to do. And, man, I haven't messed it up yet. I haven't flashed it, and I do push sort of hard at times. I'll get going. I shot that the same as I would shoot my regular aluminum molds. Turned out great. So I'm gonna pop one or two of them off, put some eyes on them, and just show you the difference the bait makes with eyeballs. One thing I have noticed, if you pop it off, well, that one didn't. It has a little end on it. I just took my scissors and clipped it off. Don't get me wrong, good looking bait. It's gonna get bit. I pour these really soft too. It's gonna get bit regardless. But put this mold back together. Again, he sent me the screws. I was like, nah, I'm gangster, man, using them screws. I'm gonna see how bad this thing is, and it shot fine. So, you know, it is what it is. I thought it was not going to be a worthy product, and I was dead wrong. So, check him out, Ngraves, in November. And brother, your sticker is going right here. As soon as I can see good enough to get it off the backing, it's going up there. That is him, Ngraves.com. Ngraves Bait Molds. Like I said, he hit me up. He's like, I want to make that mold for you. And I was like, maybe he's tired of me talking about it. And I was like, yeah, sure. You know, do your thing, baby boy. And made it, shipped it to me. We talked, we discussed everything. He would show me what he had, see if I liked it. Again, these are just some cheap eyes I got off of Amazon or whatever. These are the silver. You get silver or gold in these. Golly. You can also order some very realistic eyes, but they can get expensive. Like I said, I save them for my painted baits, my crankbaits, my jerk baits, stuff like that. That's what I use them for. These aren't, I'm not going to put high dollar eyes on this because it is not going to last. I'm going to tell you now, it is going to get hammered. Whether you're fishing for crappie, walleye, smallmouth, largemouth, it don't matter. It's going to get bit. Like I said, the number of ways it can be fished is my number one thing. Whether you like live scope, hate live scope, whatever, that hover rig is awesome. And I wanted my own style of bait to put in that hover rig. As you can see, just adding that eye just makes the bait look so much more real. If it'll focus, come on, player. Help me out. I'm having a bad day with this. So anyway, it just makes a difference. It's going to make a great bait. And if you'll go on his site and look, the price will amaze you too. Because first thing I was thinking is this thing going to be, you know, what's it going to cost, blah, blah, blah. Prices aren't bad. This mold here he put on there this morning. And I believe it's around 60 bucks. 59, 60 bucks. Any kind of crazy details, check him out. Look at his site because I can't tell you everything I know. I just know I've talked to him, met him, got a new friend. Sounds like a cool guy. We had fun talking, discussing about this thing, and man, a lot more impressed than I thought. Like I said, when I first got it, I was like, this isn't gonna do its thing. But I was wrong. I hate admitting when I'm wrong, but I was wrong. So anyway, we're gonna do another one. I want a 4-inch now, but I also wanted this 3-inch. And for bait making guys, you'll know what I'm talking about as far as hanging baits instead of laying them out, especially a bait like this. It's not going to want to lay flat because of the style and the shape of it. But just an awesome bait. The Helter Smelter 6 cavity mold, 3 inches. It is going to get hammered. Again, however you want to fish it. But when I go to the coast, I'm also going to put it on a popping cork with probably a hover jig. Fish it that way. I may fish it that way for crappie here, and largemouth. But I also fish it just on a hover jig, and definitely, you know I love the drop shot, I'll be drop shotting that bait. So it laminates great. I'm shooting it like normal. I'm not being nice to it. Just shooting it like it's a normal aluminum mold. And man, they're gonna get bit. So let me know below what you think. Just think it's gonna get bit or not. That's the bait I've been waiting on. The reason I always say I want a custom mold, I want a mold made at some point in time, and it's gonna be a pain for somebody. This is another thing, the price. I told you about the price. The custom price, if you have this done in aluminum mold, and they have to do the CAD and all that good stuff, you're going to look at the cheapest you may find, maybe $400, and it may go on up. A whole lot cheaper. You're making baits for yourself, or if you're making them for orders, because, I mean, I got guys already wanting these. When I sent them to them last night to show them, they was like, yeah, I'm going to need some bags. So, the price, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, man, you know, it's not that expensive. You know, is it going to work? Is it going to be? You just saw it. I've shot it just 3 times. I've shot it. That's the 3rd time I've shot it. And every bait, every time turns out right. Again, I like that I can hang it and let them cure from the sprue. If you're a bait maker, you'll know what I'm talking about. It'll be hanging straight by the time I hang them up there. Just let them cure straight, because if you look at these, if you try to set them out, you'll have to stack them against each other to get them to sit straight. So that's another reason I love that layout in that mold. Done a hell of a job, heck of a job, whatever you want to call it. Your sticker's definitely going there. That's the Helter Smelter. Guys, I really thought it wasn't going to be worth a crap, and I was wrong. So, Mr. Graves, I greatly appreciate it. I look forward to doing more business with you. I want that 4-inch, so go on and start it whenever you have time or whatever. You made a great mold. It surprised me. And like I said, when I first got it, I was like, jump, not going to make it. Shoots just as good as any aluminum mold I've got. Gives you a great finish. This bait's got little ribs in it. You can also make contact with him to get whatever you want done. I'm not sure how custom he goes or whatever, but he done mine. He said he does custom work, so don't sleep on it. Check his site out. Again, it is Ngraves. Ngraves. N is in November. Graves. This is probably backwards. I'm just now realizing this is probably going to be backwards, but ngraves.com. Ngraves bait molds. He did a great job. Again, he sent everything I need to make this thing work and work correctly. I ain't even use them. I'm just gonna clamp it like I clamp everything else. Some, there's a lot of them I do use the twisties and the knobs and all that. But if I can get away with clamping, I'm gonna clamp it. But that said not to, but I did, and it worked. It worked just fine. So check him out, man. I appreciate you, Mr. Graves. greatly. I don't know what all I just repeated or whatever. I might be starting Alzheimer's or something, getting old, but I appreciate it. I'm going to shoot a bunch more colors. I'm going to shoot the Ghost Shed, some more blue highlight, and this, of course, is, I mean, it's just going to get big. So, I appreciate you, man. You did a hell of a job. And I look forward to getting many more molds from you. And if y'all don't mind, check him out, guys. Like I said, I really, from the get-go, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. If this is even worth trying. I'm so glad he convinced me. He's like, let me make this mold. And I'm like, all right, go ahead. Make it. Like I said, the price isn't as crazy as an aluminum mold. Custom molds, aluminum. If you design your own bait, you have a company make it. Again, it's expensive just for materials, CAD fees, the person doing all that. The other expense that they don't tell you until it's done is, for a lot of the companies, is a privacy fee. I've been quoted as much as $1,500 and $1,700 for a privacy fee. What that means is if they've got your mold, your bait, you pay them this fee, they won't release that. I don't care. So like I said, you can get this from him right now, Mr. Ngraves, the Helter Smelter. But they'll hit you with that. So like I said, aluminum molds have been custom made, can be very pricey. So I don't care about the privacy thing because it is what it is. Somebody's gonna come up with a bait close to it anyway, or every bait in America has been made thousands of times in different varieties. So the privacy thing doesn't mean anything to me. But I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you, Mr. Graves. And if you don't mind, like and subscribe. And as always, let's go catch some fish. But this coming week, I'm going to be whacking ducks and geese. May bring you some hunting content. If you like that, check it out. Y'all have a good one. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you. Let's go catch some fish.